Okay, in this video, we're gonna go over what is fall cleanup and why do we need to do it, and the 5 things that we would need to keep in mind that we would have to do around the garden before wintertime hits. Let's go. What's going on, my plant fam, my plant peoples? I am the ADHD gardener, where I use gardening, houseplants, and humor as a form of mental health therapy, and we need to do some fall cleanup. Now, what exactly is fall cleanup? I'm sure you must have heard it throughout your town, throughout your neighborhood, and all gardeners know all about fall cleanup. Basically, cleaning up, fixing up all the things that you would need to fix up or clean up around your property and garden before the winter time hits. Now, when it comes to gardening fall cleanup, what do we do? Number 1 is the double P's, which is pruning and protecting. Now, this is the time where shrubs, trees, some plants need to be pruned down for the winter time. Some plants or shrubs or trees also need to be protected throughout the winter time too. Now, what do I mean by those double P's, pruning and protecting? Whatever plant, shrub, tree, whatever that needs to get pruned and protected if you're going to be leaving them outside for the winter. So normally when it comes to trees or shrubs, you're going to prune it down. There's more things that you would do with pruning, but that's for another video. But just know that the fall time, fall cleanup time, would be when you're going to prune your bushes, your trees, your shrubs. Also, after you've done that, you're going to protect them. Some of them need a plastic covering. Some of them need to be, put in a greenhouse. Whatever it is, it needs to be protected, generally with plastic or some sort of like mulch, anything that can really protect the plant and let it go through the whole process of wintering before the springtime. Number 2 is expanding your garden. Maybe you feel like you have the time, or maybe you would like to expand your garden size. Maybe you want to introduce more veggies, more fruits, and you need to kind of like expand. So us gardeners are always looking to expand how many vegetables and how many things we're going to be growing. This is the time to start thinking about how you're going to expand. If you're going to add another garden bed, what are you going to be doing differently or adding on to your garden size? This would be the time to do it. You would hate to do this in springtime when you're running around, you're starting your seeds, you're getting your compost going. There's just too much to do in the springtime to also be worrying about expanding your garden. It's just too much work. Minimize your time by expanding in the fall time. Number 3 goes hand in hand with number 2, and that is rearranging your garden. Some things may have to be moved out of the way. Some things may have to just be adjusted. I had to move one of my greenhouses. You see the greenhouse that I'm in right now? The other one that I have, I literally moved it to another location. Well, not me physically. I got a bunch of people to move it for me because I'm not going to be moving this big ass greenhouse. I got other people to move it now, because why would I want to do that in the springtime when a lot of plants need to be planted very early, as sometimes as early as February? And who wants to move a huge greenhouse in February when it's really, really cold? Nobody. It was here, but it got moved over there. So that's definitely some rearranging that I had to do. Well, obviously I didn't do it. Someone else did it. I got a bunch of people to move that greenhouse. But you know what I mean when it comes to rearranging, because through trial and error, you do realize that some plants may not do good, where you had it originally, and it's time to move. Number 4 is soil and compost. Now, I may have mentioned compost before on number 3, but I'm going to mention it again because it really does belong over here. Soil and compost. You do not want to wait till last minute. I mean, you could do it for some things, but you don't want to do a majority of the work in springtime when some of it can be done in the fall time. This means bringing in truckloads of dirt, bringing in truckloads of compost, bringing in bags of manure. You want to get your soil, your compost, your manure, whatever you're going to use to help fix up your soil, amend your soil, should be brought in now. I mean, you could bring it in springtime. It's going to take a lot of extra time if you need to kind of fix it up and whatnot. Now's the time to do it. The fall time is the time to really get and fix up your garden beds for the future. I'm using me for an example. We have been working on bringing for the past 2 weeks tons and tons of compost into this garden. I've had my family help me go to a compost pile and bring in a bunch of compost for here. How awesome is that? I got my sister's kids here digging away in this compost pile. Luckily, Luckily, I get lots of help. I'm very fortunate and blessed to get a lot of people helping me when it comes to the laborious, strenuous parts. Now is the time that I'm fixing up my soil. I'm just amending soil. I'm adding some more compost to this. I've also done this down here as well. It is looking a lot more dark. That's because I added some compost inside of it. I'm not saying do exactly absolutely everything now, but if you can get a heads up or a head start for springtime, now is the time to do it. And I am bringing in and fixing up my beds now. Of course, we're going to be covering them and whatnot, but that's for another video. Number 5 is just plain old clean up. I know that sounds tedious and boring because I say it's tedious and boring, but it is necessary to stay organized, to keep to keep your garden from becoming a disaster. Cleaning up is essential, and you know what? As much as I don't like it, I'm learning that you just have to do it. Having a place cleaned up is just so much easier than having a chaotic backyard. What else? Covering your soil with some kind of plastic or mulch or something to kind of, protect your soil. Picking up all the plastic on the ground, putting all your tools away, just throwing away all the excess plants into your compost. Picking up leaves, gathering them for your compost pile, gathering them for your raised beds. There's a lot of things that you can do around your gardening property just so you can have it nicely cleaned up for the springtime. I know that cleaning sucks, fall cleanup can suck, but we look at the silver lining. What is the silver lining for me is in fall cleanup, everyone puts their leaves outside in the fronts. Everybody does because the town borough picks it all up and brings it to the recycling center. But I go around collecting everybody's leaves. Because that's free carbon for my compost pile. So there are silver linings when it comes to this stuff, especially when you have a greenhouse and when it comes to pruning and protecting your plants. It makes everything a lot more easier, and you know what? It still can be kind of fun if you think about it. I mean, I'm still surrounded by plants. It is plant related. We got to make the best of what we can do and just know that it's for our plants. Let me know down in the comments below, what are you doing for your fall plants or for your fall cleanup? Do you have any plants that you have to overwinter? Are you keeping some outside? What are you doing? Maybe you're starting a compost pile. Let me know down in the comments below. That'd be awesome. As usual, I love chilling with you guys. And if you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it and you want to show me some love, then don't forget to smash that like button. I really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't done it already, then consider subscribing. I drop a video every week and then some in between. Don't forget about that notification bell, because if you don't hit that bell, then you won't know when I'm dropping a video. And last but not least, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'm on Facebook every day though. That's where I share a lot of memes, a lot of side projects, and a little bit on the personal side. Get the cleaning. I know it sucks, but we gotta do it. Until the next episode, you guys, peace and love.